Here's how I put gasket adhesive on gaskets for Honda 600. This is the cam box gasket, and the adhesive I prefer and have used for the last forever and ever, 20 years is probably, was 3-bond, Honda Bond 4, or now I have found this product as being the same thing. Moto Seal. So the last one I bought at an auto parts store was 15 bucks. But I found some on eBay, 2 for 15 bucks with free shipping. So the way I do it, to get a good even coat, and you don't need much, just a very thin coat or you will plug up your oil ways, and especially will if you use silicone seal. Use a hacksaw blade. And you put a little bit on the hacksaw blade. Then wipe it on the gasket. You don't need much. And the good thing with this stuff is you won't spring a leak for at least a year. And when you go to take it apart again, it's so strong that when you split it, half of the gasket stays on the head and half of the gasket stays on the cam box. And for the opposite side of this one, so they don't glue the gasket to the cardboard, put the adhesive on the actual part instead of on the gasket. And once you're done, and it's all coated, I go back over it and smooth it out a little bit more, just as it's starting to dry, just to get a smoother surface. And then I go stick it on the engine. And then I'm going to do this other half. Before I put the gaskets on, I like to surface slightly. I use 80 grit and a short, long board body working tool. You can also see if it has any low spots or defects. You sandblast it and then go back and do this, and you can see the low spots, like here where the gray areas are. Those are low spots. Alright, so I'm going to put the sealer on it. So the difference between this stuff and silicone seal is, when you use silicone seal, it fills up these oil way right here, and this one here. Then your camshaft will be garbage. It won't oil. You do that all over. Don't forget to put your dowel pins in when you're putting this piece on, or the one for the head. This is the motor from Mr. Bean. I'm still working on it. It's been over a year. Don't ask me to rebuild anything for you. It'll take a while. So I get these flat washers that have been replated. Put them on every one, including the underneath the cap nuts, which are the two here. Because I've seen the cap nuts where the studs have actually broken through the cap nuts. You can see my zip tie holds my cam chain. That way it's easy to retrieve. I put the really pretty nuts on the top. The cap nuts go in the back here. In the shop manual, I think in the Haynes manual, it shows the cap nuts on the two front studs. But I think that's only for the 360s, not for the N600s. And I use a speed wrench to run them all down. In your standard crisscross pattern. Don't ask me. I messed up that one. Right now we're just tightening them down a little bit. I'm going to use a torque wrench. I think the setting is 38 foot-pounds. Alright, that's done. And then you want to put in 4 6x50 bolts, flange head bolts, and the one that goes underneath the cam box. Oh, that was too short. And I also like to retighten the base, cylinder base bolts. Now that the head bolts are torqued down. The cylinder base gaskets also got, the cylinder base gasket has also got Honda Bond, 3 Bond, or Moto Seal on it. I like a shorter ratchet for the 6s. I don't see the one I really like, which is really a stubby.